Hello and welcome to Paramecia, a One Piece fancast where we review the latest chapter of One Piece and have a different One Piece related discussion every single week. My name is John.
My name is Franz.
And this week we are looking at chapter 904, The Commanders of the Revolutionary Army Appear. And, this is
one after another, man.
Chapter 904, Oda's not fucking around.
Chapter 904, you thought I was done, bitch.
Yeah. It's that meme, Oda, I lived, bitch.
Oh man.
God, yeah, so me and Gustavo were up like pretty late.
Of course y'all
yesterday,
were.
I guess. Yeah. And I was about to, he was like, "Oh man, I'm going to sleep." And I checked. I was about to go to sleep too, and I checked to see if it was up, and it had just gone up like 5 minutes prior to when I checked, and I was like, the fuck you're going to, fuck you, you're not going to sleep, you're reading this with me. And sure enough, no, but yeah, God, this was it was a shorter chapter.
Thanks to Golden
At least
Week,
it felt shorter, yeah. But God, it was really, really good.
Yeah, straight into it, the first thing we see, the cover story, is now, like last week we were shown, is focusing on Orlumbus. And he's sitting here prostrating himself over the king of the Standing Kingdom. I think this is the first time they've been mentioned.
I think so. I can't remember them being mentioned.
The king kind of looks familiar, but then again, he looks like every king and celestial that we've encountered, so
yeah.
But the whole scene is him prostrating himself. The king throws back his Orlumbus's resignation letter at Orlumbus, and he's fuming and shit, and it's tight.
Yeah, I like it. It's again, Orlumbus's character is very very on the nose. It's Christopher Columbus. That's who he is.
Yep. I mean, hopefully Oda was never educated about the actualities of Christopher Columbus, and this is just some pioneer of exploration and stuff.
He's basing him off the meme of Christopher Columbus, not the actual Christopher Columbus.
We're thinking he's basing it off of a Christopher Columbus's monster. You're thinking of Dr. Christopher Columbus.
Dr. Christopher Columbus. Okay. All right, well, after Dr. Columbus resigns, we get straight into the chapter, and the chapter starts, it throws us straight on to Kamabaka Island, which is the island that Ivankov is from, and is now, we find out, the makeshift base, the makeshift stronghold of the Revolutionary Army, which makes sense because Ivankov is a revolutionary, but man, it is, I don't know, getting to see this island again was I was like, oh man, this is awesome.
Yeah, it was a real touch of nostalgia.
Yeah, even Ivankov on the second page, or in the second panel, even him just talking about Luffy and Sanji, I was like, man, this is cool. I don't know, I just got all up in my feels about it. I was like, man, this is awesome.
I missed Ivankov. I hope this leads to the revolutionaries seeing Crocodile, and we find out the whole thing that happened between Ivankov and Crocodile. I'm 100% here for the whole Crocodile is a trans man theory.
I'm about it. Oh, you're not here for the greatest theory of all time. Crocodile is Luffy's mom. You're not here for that one. You're not here for that one. You're not here for that one. That theory, I have seen that theory, and I was like, please God, if you can hear me, please let this entire page of videos on YouTube. Please let them all be. Please let this be some kind of giant inside joke, and it's not. People actually believe that, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
You saying that was the equivalent of a sleeper agent activation code. And for a moment you made me like an apex hunter.
Holy shit.
Continue, bitch.
Yeah. All right. Ivankov is talking about, he's praising both Sanji and Luffy. He's like, "Oh my god, like I'd expect nothing less from your bloodline, dragon. Like, your son is amazing." And he's like, "How come Sanji never told me he was part of Germa 66? Like, how cheeky." And I just really like it. All the Okama are like going nuts. And then, so this whole chapter, as we go through, there's gonna be a lot of things where I'm like, all right, like this chapter makes a lot of implications for the future, and I love it. I'm getting the same vibe, but bigger from these chapters that are happening from this Reverie arc that I did with Zoe.
I see what you mean.
We weren't recording when Zoe was happening, but I remember like every week when we read it, we were like, "Bro, what the fuck? Like, oh my god, bombshells!" And this one is like fucking nukes.
Oda
Dragon
took
says after the
he took the Rock Lee like leg braces off.
Yeah. It's leg braces off. No, he doesn't give a shit. He's hitting us with all the lore. The first of which is that Germa was ejected from the world government, so they're no longer allowed to be at the Reverie. Which
I'm glad to know that.
Yeah, I'm glad to know that, and it kind of implies, at least to me, that Germa survived the ordeal.
Oh yeah, that's a good. Because
there wouldn't be a need to eject them from the world government if they were dead. You know what I'm saying? Like,
eject their corpses and be like, "Bitch."
Yeah, those guys are not fucking allowed here, sir. They've been dead for 8 years. It doesn't matter. I rest my case. But yeah, Dragon just so nonchalantly drops that on us, and I'm like, oh my god. And then they start having this. They start saying like, "Oh, where is everybody?" And of course, from the title, we know that we're gonna see the 4 commanders of the revolutionaries, but we don't get to see them just yet. We get like a hint of one of them, because Sabo is lying on the floor, and Ivankov is like, "What the hell is he doing?" Like, you know what? And then I love this. Sabo's like on the floor, just like ellipses, like speech bubble, and Koala is so done with him. She's like, he's been rereading the article about Luffy and grinning to himself. His face is cramped.
I really enjoyed that. Like,
I love it.
Yeah, it goes immediately after Koala's disappointment in Sabo's like not being able to like get over it. It goes to Den and Mushi going off, and then someone called Lindbergh reporting, saying that there's trouble nearby, that they'll be there in just a bit. And Sabo's like, "Okay, cool, whatever," like almost like dismissive. And that, like, when I read that, I was like, bro, what? Like, you're not gonna help? Like, what? So I thought a little too much into it, but
yeah. To me, that was my first, like, when I read the name, because this whole page has name drops. I think it drops everybody's name except for Karasu Kuro.
You're right, yeah.
But I mean, technically, we got him name dropped before, at the end of Dressrosa. I don't know if we got his name, but we got like the foreshadowing to him, because that's how, like, remember Sabo left Dressrosa on the crows.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. But yeah, I took it as like, oh, like, I assumed that those are the names of the commanders, and I was like, oh, they're probably like strong as fuck if Sabo is like, yeah, sure, whatever, just don't be late, as long as you're safe. God, it was crazy. And then the bottom of this page. So we get the name drops, and the Okama are like, oh my god, like I can't wait to meet Commander Morley, and I'm going after Commander Betty. They're like, fangirling over the commanders. And then Dragon and Sabo, like, Sabo, let's finalize our plans first. At this year's Reverie, we'll finally declare war, right? Against the Celestial Dragons? Like, okay.
Dude.
It had been a theory that, like, okay, like, Kaido might break into the Reverie, which is still a possibility with the whole Caribou situation, because like Kaido captured, or X-Drake captured Caribou, and then Kaido, X-Drake works for Kaido, you get
yeah. Shirahoshi, all that, yeah.
Yeah, Shirahoshi's the weapon. But even this, like, there was, when we got the Reverie build-up chapters, and when we saw that Stelly was gonna be there, Sabo's like half brother or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That was I was like, that was like so a Chekhov's gun. I was like, there's no way they're gonna introduce this butthole and not have him and Sabo have some kind of moment. But it was just a matter of like, well, why is Sabo gonna be at the Reverie? And it's like, well, it looks like they're saying fuck it. They're declaring war on the Celestial Dragons right here, right now, which is going to be wild.
I'm really hyped for this. We've made pretty like audacious calls like since we've started recording, and the fact that the revolutionaries were gonna go was a pretty fucking big call. I'm glad that we like stuck the landing.
Yo, yeah. I am so glad that it turned out this way, because if it didn't, I would have been like, we would have been like, nah, man, we never said that. You're crazy. Recorded proof of us saying it exists online. Dude, that's not me. I don't speak English. Just like that Eric Andre skit. Dude, I don't speak English.
Me as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So, they ever so carefree declare that they're waging war against the Celestial Dragons. And then we jump to the Lelouchia Kingdom, which is the Lelouchia Kingdom. If you remember, like last chapter, that was the kingdom where the princess was kidnapped by those pirates.
Yeah.
That was the kingdom that was heading to Reverie, and their princess got captured, and then like Helmeppo and Kobe saved them. But we go to the actual Lelouchia Kingdom, and we see that they're getting like their entire city like pillaged, and we get like a page spread of this character named Peachbeard, a bounty of 52 million, which at this point, after everything that's happened, I'm like, all right,
tiny,
this fucking scrub, bro,
bitch.
Get him out of here. Yeah, a bitch. And I like somebody said something earlier that I guess Momo means like peach, or like Momotaro or something.
It does.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It was, at first we were at Momoito Island, pink colored island. This is Peachbeard. His belt says Momo, everything. So like,
that's cool. I get it.
Year of Pink, I guess.
Yeah, the Year of Pink. Basically. Anyways, I didn't think anything of this character. I was like, this guy's a fucking scrub. And then, in a panel, we see Blackbeard's fucking Jolly Roger. And then it says, fucking, I've received my Peachbeard name from my master, Blackbeard. Remember it and fear Blackbeard. And I was like, oh no. Like, we're getting more Blackbeard. Spoiler alert, we don't get any Blackbeard. We just get Peachbeard being a jobber.
Now,
but
I will. Let's get through this, because I do want to bring something up.
Yeah. There are things that happen later in the chapter. There's a lot of stuff. So anyways, Peachbeard is just wrecking this island. He's fucking going through, and he's just destroying everything. And then we get this girl who comes out of the crowd, and she's like, no, spare us. Like, the only money that we have is the celestial offering we have to make to the celestial dragons. Like, if we don't pay the offering, like, we'll be killed. And then Peachbeard is like, what? How horrible, but...
And then he, like, slaps her, and then, like...
Yeah, he's like,
orders,
oh, like, how horrible, but you basically just told me about the celestial offering, so I'm gonna take it.
Yep.
And before anything, I just want to say, I looked it up. So this character, I'm almost 90% sure. Now, bear with me.
This sounds like a deep cut already.
This is a pretty deep cut. So, in the Ace cover story, Ace's Great Blackbeard Search, he gets, like, washed. Like, something happens, and he gets, like, washed up on shore or something. And this girl finds him, and her name is Marley, I believe. And she... Like, this is basically, this is Marley. She runs she has a farm with cows, and she has the same bangs. And in the design in this chapter, you can see her bandana over her bandana on her head has a cow design. And her whole story was like, oh, she gave a message she saved Ace, and she gave a letter to him. She's like, oh, can you deliver this, like, to the Marines? So then Ace, like, disguises himself as a Marine and infiltrates the base, only to get found out, and then before leaving, he gives the letter to the people, and then it turns out the letter was like, oh, like, I forget what it was. It was just Marley telling the Marines, like, oh, like, we have your milk, like, come to the island and get the milk for your coffee, or some dumb shit like that.
That's a deep-ass cut, John. I don't know how.
Yes, but that's Marley. Basically, it is Marley, like, because she's grown up and she has the same hairstyle and everything, and then the same bandana, but the bandana has, like, the cow coloring to kind of, like, be like, oh, like, before it didn't have any color, but she had cows on her farm, and obviously they're not going to show the cows in the city, so it's like, oh, here's Marley.
So Marley and me gets backhanded by Peachbeard, and she doesn't, like, fall to the floor. Instead, she, like, hits against some, like, woman's body and low-key cops a feel.
Oh, she does. she cops a feel, and, like, no shame.
And then, like, she's being told to go, like, and she's like, oh shit, okay. And next page,
yeah, well.
Oh.
Yeah, she tells the girl who gets her feel copped, I guess is the right way to put that, is telling her, is saying go Morley, and Morley's the commander from the revolutionaries.
I'm illiterate. You're right.
It's fine. I can't even remember, honestly, if her name is Marley. It's something with an M.
It's Marley and me.
Yeah, Marley and me. Anyway, she says go Morley, like Commander Morley, and... Ooh, buddy.
I was confused, but a good confused.
I like this guy. Yeah, I like this guy. So we see the ground, like, shape-shifting, almost like Pika. Like, it's like as if a bubble's forming underground. Like, it just kind of, like, the ground lifts. And then we see, like, this giant guy moving the clay. Like, it's implied something, like, it looks like he's turning the ground into, like, clay, or like he's making it malleable somehow. Probably with some kind of devil fruit. And he climbs out. It's this giant who has, like, a weird jetpack thing on and is wearing, like, a kilt. And he is I love him. He is my favorite character. He is an Okama, but he's a giant.
I really dig it.
And he gets mad because he's like, oh, why are you staring like that? Do you all have a crush on me? False. Stop it, boys! And he flings the ground at them.
They're just, like, all flying. Like, Peachbeard is just Team Rocket blasting off away.
Yeah.
And they make a point to say, like, a few panels after that, it's like, oh, it's like the ground is made of clay. He must be some sort of devil fruit user. So
Yeah.
That's interesting. A fucking
Yeah, that's why I
giant
assumed
with
it
a
was some
devil
kind of
fruit?
like, yeah, and a cool one at that. Like you can turn you can like make shit into clay. Who knows if it's like awakened or not?
Oh,
And that kind of falls in line with something else that happens this chapter. We'll get there. We'll get there. I did like really quick, super quick side note that the townspeople like didn't know they'd never seen a giant before, or like the only giants they've known of were the Marines, because the guy's like, do giants live in the center of the earth? I've never seen one before. And the other guy's like, what in the world is he, a Marine? Because the giants, like some of the giants are like enslaved by the Marines basically.
yeah, that's a really nice touch now that you bring it up.
And then we get Titty Girl.
Yep, the cop Ed, not the copper.
Yeah, the cop Ed, not the cop E. But man, I just like, okay, her design is like Oda, like sexy girl, but her power's fucking sick.
It really is.
I have so much to talk about her power. So she comes out of nowhere wearing her glasses, looking bad as hell, and she's calling all the townspeople useless garbage. and she's like, what are you useless garbage gonna do? And then we turn the page because the townspeople are like, wait, who are those guys? And we get the other two coolest fucking characters I've ever seen. We get this little cat. We get Lindbergh, this cat mink guy, who's like an inventor or some shit. And then we get this guy who it's basically Overhaul from My Hero.
Dude, not even like you never played League. He's that fucking like druid guy in League that like fucking all he does is crows and shit. Like
A druid?
I don't remember his name, but he was some like Swain or some shit, I think it was. Just fucking crow man, crow beak and shit. And then here's Jetpack Cat, the like character from Overwatch that never made it into the final cut.
Yeah. These guys are my dogs. I love all of them. They're so cool. They're like super badass, and I love them. They're the 4 Revolutionary Army commanders. The West Army commander is Morley, the Okama giant. The East Army commander is Titty Girl, Belo Betty, who's like smoking and has like the coolest looking sunglasses. And then South Army commander is Lindbergh, who is from the looks of it, a cat mink, who is like an inventor. Like he has like these weapons of his own design that he's built, and he has a jetpack. And then we have the North Army commander, Karasu, which is I think it just means crow in Japanese, right? Like it's just
sounds about right. Like if you give me like 2 seconds, I can look this shit.
There was
up.
a translator's note that said like, "Oh, it just means crow," and I took them
completely
at face value.
buy that because honestly, when it comes to like naming schemes, yep, there it is.
Yeah,
it means crow.
Yep, hell yeah. So, God, I love this. We get a little interaction with all of them just to kind of see their characters, and the giant is great.
Boys are so violent. And then like fucking Belo Betty's like chiding him and shit, and just like, oh, it's cause they like you potato giant. And just, ew, gross. Like honestly, same as fuck. Shit.
Yeah, and I absolutely love this. Like Lindbergh is like, can I cut loose, Betty? And then all we see is whisper, whisper, like muttering. And then the guy's like, why won't anyone answer the question? And why is he whispering to himself? And then we see him get pissed off, and he's like, oh no, he got pissed off for some reason.
Oh, what a good situation.
The payoff to that at the end of the chapter is fucking great. Basically, after this, we get Belo Betty raising the revolutionary flag, which also in the previous page we get to see the logo of the Revolutionary Army, and it's super cool. It's like RA Revolutionary Army, but it has a design of a dragon in the middle. I thought that
a
was
little
cool.
On the nose, y'all, but sick as fuck.
Yeah. A little on the fucking nose. But we get an introduction to Belo Betty's devil fruit user, or devil fruit ability. Belo Betty, the devil fruit user, we get introduced to her ability. Jesus Christ.
There you are.
I
You
can't
got it.
speak. I got so hyped for Titty Girl's power that I couldn't speak.
It like honestly, like Oda went all in with his like Oda isms in his design, because like she's not even wearing a shirt. Her nipples are covered by miracle, and like
she's got hella double-sided tape.
Dude, it's like liquid concrete or some shit, and then like you see like her skirt's like not covering anything. You see the God, I don't know the actual term, so I have to go through the misfortune of saying vagina bones.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say cum gutters, because I know that's another one.
What?
That's another name for them. It's for guys or girls. If you got some nice cum gutters. You never heard that?
So her power's really cool.
Belo Betty has nice cum gutters. That's the episode title.
Her power's really cool in that she's rallying everyone else, and she's like telling all the other commanders like, "Oh, back them up and everything." They're like starting to take the offensive, and then like some Ito-looking motherfucker is like, "What? After that pep talk, I can feel my strength welling up inside. What useful narrative!" And then like the giant starts explaining like, "Oh, she has the pep fruit. With one wave of her flag, it awakens the inner strength of a person." So honestly, like, fuck me, what a good just goddamn.
Yeah, what a perfect power, and what a fitting power for the revolutionary army to have on their side. That like is like how perfect is it that the revolutionary army, who wants to rise up against the world government, has a power that can allow the people themselves to rise up and like, take control. I think it's super sick. I also really, so I read another translation of this as well. It just came out earlier than the manga stream one, the Jai Minis box translation. And both translations, I went back and read both of them. They both specifically say the word, like they say, with one wave of her flag, she can awaken the inner strength of a person. Now, I don't want to be that theory guy that's like, oh, they said awaken, that means she can awaken devil fruits. But her power is literally to like, I think like Dragon Ball Z, like awaken your latent power. Like she can tap into she can allow people themselves to tap into their latent power. And I want to know if that alone, like being able to tap into your latent power, would actually allow a devil fruit user to attain awakening.
I could definitely see that happening for like a zone fruit user, because like that's kind of the premise of it already. But like, I also feel like if she is able to do that, I would not put it past Morley or Karasu to be awakened fruit users. Like if she has that ability to do that, because I'm thinking like, okay, like if she can do that to the townspeople, like she can make them like all the like their inner strength wells up inside them, and it's strength they have but they just can't tap into like regularly. If she can do that to a devil fruit user at least once, and he's able to like utilize awakening, I'm sure from that point on, they can probably like, because they felt what it feels like, they know how to like tap into awakening again. I don't know. That's like a actual not crack theory from me this week at that. One thing, like, so we're assuming that the crow guy has a devil fruit. What if he doesn't? What if he's just like really tight with crows? That's my not crack theory.
I'm about it. I'm about it. Anyways, okay. Enough of these theories. We got to get to the real crack theory later that I'm excited about, because I don't know what it is. We get we get Jetpack Cat shooting. Okay, so Jetpack Cat stole May's ice gun and is freezing everybody's weapons in the Peachbeard camp. And then all the townspeople are just beating the shit out of them. We get my homeboy Overhaul, Karasu, using his crows to steal all the Peachbeard pirates' weapons, and then the townspeople are just bludgeoning them to death. And I love everything about this. At the end of the fight doesn't really last that long. Like I said, it's a shorter chapter, but at the end of it all, they have Peachbeard, bound up by rope, and he's all bloody and like almost unconscious. And he says a really interesting exchange happens here too that I thought, again, this chapter is so good. He says, "Oh, Lord Blackbeard won't take this lying down," and then Betty tells him, like, sorry to break it to you, but he doesn't care about his subordinates, which is just like, ugh, like that's. I don't know. I just thought that was a good line because that is like, that really cements into stone that like how different Luffy and Blackbeard are. Like Luffy is willing to stand in the same spot and starve himself to death until one of his comrades comes and talks to him about his problems, and then Blackbeard is not going to come back for Peachbeard at all. Like, Blackbeard doesn't give a shit.
That's because Peachbeard's jobber. But no, that's a really good point to make, because they're really like two sides of the same coin, Blackbeard and Luffy, and like we've always seen that, like, they're honestly not all different, except Blackbeard's like legitimately just chaotic evil, and Luffy's like chaotic good. Yeah,
it's, I don't know. I thought it was an interesting exchange, and like the fact that Betty said that, of all people, the way she said it too was like there was an implication that they knew Blackbeard, or like that they had some sort of deeper than surface level connection to Blackbeard, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it was very matter of factly the way that it was like said.
Yeah. Yes. Anyways, after she roasts Peachbeard into oblivion, she starts yelling at the townspeople like, "Hey, like, you spineless, weak rabble!" And they're all looking at her, and she's like, "Here's the Revolutionary Armor's like business card. Like, the bounty is yours. Just turn him into the Marines, like whatever." And she's like, "You guys did good out there. Like, whenever you want to rise up, we'll be there to lend a hand." And then all the townspeople just start crying, and they're like, "Miss Betty!" And then, finally, to end the chapter, we get the payoff to my favorite gag in the recent couple of chapters. Fantastic. At the very end of the chapter, we see all four of the commanders walking down the street, like heading towards Kamabaka Island. And Lindbergh is like, "Yeah, I'm pumped up. We're going to fight these celestial dragons." And he's like, "Also, switch your speaker on next time, Karasu." And then we see like a click. And then he's like, "I forgot."
Oda's a genius. Oda's a real
God,
like comedic genius. Like,
yes,
that was so worth it.
Oh, it was so good. Like, Karasu is like this super serious, like looking, like he looks badass and he looks edgy and he's serious and he looks like he's like brooding all the time, and we just get this simple like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot."
I dig it.
I dig it. And we're 2 days away officially from the Reverie, according to this Oda box. 2 days until the Reverie. The thoughts in the world begin to whirl.
It's so scary. Like, it's really ramping up to be a lot of things, because like we'd mentioned before, there are so many different things that can happen between, the confirmation now that the Revolutionary Army is declaring war at Reverie. Like, the fact that Kaido might just show up at some point. And then, that still leaves like a bajillion and a half other things. One thing that we ruled out for sure is that, one, Germa's not going to be there because they just got ejected. Two, Luffy's not gonna catch a ride with them to Reverie because Luffy doesn't need to be at Reverie.
Yeah. No, Luffy doesn't need to be at Reverie. He will be there in spirit because a lot of the kingdoms he's helped have, I mean, they've all definitely, like, you know, they're all going to be there, all the kingdoms that he's helped. Like, you know, Alabasta, Dressrosa, Drum Island, like, all these islands, that all these kingdoms that he's helped, he has allies all over the world. And I think it's gonna... I really think that it could turn out like, you know, people are gonna start bad mouthing him because of the article. Like, they're gonna be like, oh, like, you know, all the Marines and stuff like Luffy are gonna be whatever. But we have King Cobra there. We have Belo. We have King Riku. We have Kiros. Like, we have all these people who and obviously Vivi. Like, we have all these people who are literally, I personally feel at some point it's gonna be like, oh, Walpole or maybe some of the other kingdoms are gonna be like, oh, this Straw Hat Luffy needs to end,
dude,
or like, we need to kill him
100%.
And one of them is gonna stomp their foot down and be like, fuck you, like, Luffy saved us from Crocodile, or Luffy saved our entire kingdom from Doflamingo. Like, it's
gonna be a shit show, and I'm super fucking excited. One thing I do want to mention, though, is
about it.
Since this hit on the Lelouch Kingdom was orchestrated by Blackbeard, and the previous chapter, it was the previous chapter, right? Yeah, where the princess of the Lelouch Kingdom was kidnapped by some like submarine pirates or something. I feel like, without a doubt, that was also in relation to Blackbeard, because, like, come on, like, the juxtaposition of these two things happening at the same time, like, I feel like it's got to be Blackbeard. And if that's how Blackbeard is putting his hands into, like, several different baskets or whatever the fuck I was trying to say, you know, he's getting so involved in all of this, like, pre-Reverie stuff, there's a feeling that more and more he might show up at Reverie.
You know, he could. He definitely could. He definitely knows about it for sure.
Oh, yeah.
He has to know about it because he has Aokiji on his side. Aokiji is part of the Blackbeard Pirates,
which is
from
still
everything we've been told.
Like,
yeah. So a former Navy admiral, joins the Blackbeard Pirates, and you think he's not gonna tell him all the, like, declassified information? You think he's not just gonna leak that? Like, even if Aokiji has some sort of other plan, in order to gain Blackbeard's trust for that plan to come to fruition, if he does want to betray Blackbeard at some point, he would have to get on his, like, you know, he'd have to find a way to make himself important to Blackbeard. And I feel like a way to do that would be like, hey, I know everything about the Marines. Like, here's all the information I know about the Marines.
You probably know, like, weird ass, like, entrances or some shit, like secret shit, like how to get there.
Yeah,
like fucking the way, like, Pudding led the Straw Hats to fucking Big Mom's Whole Cake Island, like, same fucking way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared.
Now it's more of a possibility he definitely could. The only reason I think he might not is I still think Kaido's... I think what's going to happen is we're going to get Reverie. We're going to get, like, a good amount of time talking between the kingdoms about the world events.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get Fujitora talking about abolishing the Shishibukai system. And I think that's going to coincide with whoever on our side is going to put their foot down and defend Luffy. Because I think whenever that happens, if it does happen, I feel like all the other kingdoms are going to follow suit. Like, as soon as one person does it, all the other kingdoms are going to be like, yeah, like Luffy helped us. Like, regardless of if he's wanted, like, he helped us from the terror of the Shishibukai system. Like he, God, I feel like it's gonna play a big role. But at the very end of it all, like after all the world building explanations have been, finished, I think that's when the revolutionaries and Blackbeard and Kaido might break in at the same time. I feel like it's gonna turn into like a giant shit show that's gonna lead directly into Wano country.
I'm excited as fuck. There really is like I can't wait for this, because this really will dictate the entire tone of everything that happens after Wano. Because we know Wano is going to be like,
Yeah.
oh, we're liberating essentially Shogunate Japan and like all that, and then there's gonna be some Gold Roger stuff and whatnot. Like my name's Oda.
Yeah.
I fucking wrote the One Piece, whatever. But
Yeah.
the Reverie holds so much narrative power that I'm super scared as to what's going to happen.
Yeah. And I mean, all we can do is take Oda at his word. But Oda and the editors, all we can do is take them at their word. But Oda himself said that the Wano arc is going to make Marineford look like child's play. Like he said, it's going to make Marineford look cute. I think that was the exact translation, which is crazy to me. But I also think that has to imply that there's going to be more players in Wano than just the Straw Hat Law Alliance and Kaido's army. Like, we gotta have some revolutionaries in there. We gotta have some of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet in there. I think it's a possibility.
I don't think that's it.
That Kano.
What I think it is. Well, yeah, like you were about to say Kano Kuni, like the whole Don Chinchao family and shit would come in. That'd be nice. But what I'm thinking is that it's going to be the ex-Whitebeard pirates that come in.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's gonna be, there's gonna be a lot of players, like, because we have the Straw Hat Law Alliance, the Straw Hat and Heart Pirate Alliance, but then like I'm convinced the battle with Kaido is gonna end up being all 11 Supernova versus Kaido, because Scratchman Apu is only on Kaido's side because he's like fucking fears for his life.
That's true.
And
Eustace Kid's dead because of Kaido.
Yeah, they're gonna free Eustace Kid, and then the only Supernova that's not on Kaido's that's on Kaido's side is X Drake, but X Drake is his character's based off of some
Francis Drake.
He's based off some like Spanish explorer guy.
So what it is?
He's based on some
he's based off Francis Drake, and Francis Drake, like in I think it was the 1500s, was hired by the Spanish Armada, because like this is when like Britain was like coming up with their like naval power, and Spain was like, no, we can't fucking do this. We can't do this shit. And so they hired Francis Drake, like nicknamed him like El Drake, and were like, go fuck the British up. Like Drake basically by himself fucked the British up. So
yeah,
I might have gotten like, I think he was Spanish, but he might have been British. I'm not great at history.
Yeah, God, hold on, because I read it somewhere. He's based off, like, it might be based off that. I remember reading somewhere that he was based off some other guy. He's based off some God damn it, why can't I find it? He's based off some like Spanish, like, I don't even know the word. Like some Spanish, like, I keep wanting to say like Matador,
Conquistador?
But that's not it. Conquistador, yeah. He's based off some like Spanish conquistador that apparently helped the guy he's based on basically has like there's some story about him where he helped open the gates to some country. Like he helped open the country, like he helped fight and take over or topple over, the ruler of the country to open the gates. And that's exactly what Kinemon and Momonosuke are like trying to do. I feel bad because I can't find it. Yeah, his name is based off Sir Francis Drake, but I remember I can't find him. I remember reading somewhere else that he's based off some guy.
Yeah, I mean, I buy that.
Some shit.
Because, to be honest, at this point, like,
now I'm just on the Francis Drake Wikipedia page.
Oh, I'm already ahead of you. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like screening through it.
Yeah, I don't know. This chapter was really fucking good, and the referee is going to set the stage in a giant way for Wano country to just come in and be the best arc of One Piece ever. If Reverie itself doesn't become the best arc of One Piece ever.
Okay. What it is that Francis Drake was hired by the English fleet. Oops. Against the Spanish Armada, 1588. Died of dysentery. What a bitch.
Damn.
And I think they were trying to open up. I don't know. Anyways, y'all want to hear a crack theory?
Yeah, let's fucking sign out and do this shit. That's gonna do it for us this week at Paramecia. We are not on break as far as I can see next week. So chapter 905 will be next week. God, it's going. I'm gonna call it. It's going to be another banger like the past two chapters. It's probably gonna be way more world building.
Oh, I'm here for it though. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the lore.
I'm here for it. It's gonna be a good time. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Paramecia Fancast. We are also on YouTube, youtube.com. Just search up Paramecia Fancast. Again, episodes come out every week. The Libsyn episodes will come out first, and then a couple. I mean, honestly, within like an hour, the YouTube one should be up from the Libsyn upload. So
because YouTube compression
same day
sucks.
uploads for both. Yeah, I can't. No matter how many times I sign out with this, I can't stress enough how bad YouTube like uploading is. It's just a horrible system. Anyways, let's get back to what really matters. This crack theory that Franz told me about before we recorded. And all he said was, I wrote it down last week. So I'm really excited to hear what it is. Go ahead, Franz. What's the crack theory this week?
As we know, Oda's very prominent with foreshadowing. At one point in Thriller Bark, Sanji tells the invisible guy hired now by Morgan that he desperately wanted the invisible fruit. That action was Oda foreshadowing that Sanji will kill that man in cold blood and use Blackbeard's fucky fruit method to get the invisible fruit. Sanji with a raid suit and a fruit power like a Reiju. That's it.
I dig it. Oh my god, I dig it. I'm about it. It's been a good run, guys. Have a nice week.
Peace out,
Sanji
y'all.
is the most broken character confirmed.
Honestly, like, once you make Sanji invisible, like,
it's over.
It really is.
It might actually be over. If Sanji's invisible, Kaido doesn't stand a chance.
That's how Kaido dies. That's how Kaido dies.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. Have a good week, everybody.
Yo, Kaido, like, now that everyone stopped listening, real crack theory, Kaido dies from dysentery.